Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dinner and a Game. Hi, this is Ray, and I am here to say hello to you because we are going to play games, and you are going to watch us play games, and we hope everyone's going to have a good time. That's not guaranteed because the players may be tortured and they may be forced to relive trauma, and if you see Crafty smile, it's already too late. So that's the general rule with GMs. That and are you sure you and the statement "Are you sure you want to do that?" is a threat, not a comment. So everyone, please welcome our amazing group of players. Thank you so much, guys, for being here today. I know we got up early for this, but it's always worth it. So we will be continuing to get up early until further notice. Understood. So tonight we are going to be joined by several today we're going to be joined by several incredible players. First off, we will go around the circle and say hi to Bishi Bunny. Bishi, how you doing?
I am doing okay. Recently had a big procedure, and hopefully it works because it would be nice to not be dying.
That would be, we would really like that. If you can make that happen, we would be very appreciative. If you can't, we know several rituals that we might have to enact. At worst, we sacrifice a goat.
Absolutely. And you know what? I have a style guide for all the characters I'm playing, so if anyone needs to NPC them.
Hey, stop it. Speaking of characters you're playing, who are you playing in this game?
I am playing the lovely Lady Trash, who is a young woman who had her voice stolen by a carnival, and yet that was nowhere near the most traumatic thing that's ever happened to her, but, you know, that's just how that goes. And she is supported by her ever-loyal, ever-chivalrous puppet unicorn, Alphonse.
I love Alphonse. So we'll continue around the horn, and we will go to we'll go counterclockwise this time and speak to the illustrious and not at all wrong for eating pizza with a fork and knife, Jeremiah McCoy.
He's wrong.
He's wrong.
I am Jeremiah McCoy, and I eat food correctly, unlike these heathens. I'm also known as Basics of the Game on TikTok and here, and I do a lot of content around tabletop role-playing games, history, discussions, game design, things like that.
Calling out idiots.
Yeah. I hope that is not a major part of my content because that, not how I roll. I tend to be more positive. But I play Robin Clover, our satyr cleric of the Arcana domain, a cleric of Bokob, who is a god of magic, and he is infinitely curious about all sorts of magical things, and he's into the Feywild, so everything's wonderful.
We're all gonna die. Magical. And of course, next we have the incredible and creative, and absolutely not saying this because I've still forgotten to print out some stuff for her, and I really, really feel bad. Dice Goblin Black Cat.
About that. Also, you need to respond to the email about the dice. But
yes.
Hi, I'm Dice Goblin Black Cat. I am that on pretty much every important platform. And, there's also Elon's Hellscape. But that's, whatever. But I am also a dice maker and the owner of fateandfortune.com, where you can get handcrafted and often custom dice. Right now for 30% off everything in the store, because I have new masters and I want to move out the old product. So go ahead and buy that stuff and get rid of it for me.
Yeah. And if you Dice, your links are, everyone's links are currently in chat. Dice, your store's link is with yours, right?
It should be, yeah.
Okay,
in
good.
My link tree.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it was in your link tree.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I will be playing Nim, our human rogue who has way too many Fey attributes to be normal because Robin and Nim basically had opposite upbringings, and yeah, she's been taking a nap apparently.
It was the safest thing to do. And I'm Ray, Mr. Dag Show. I will be playing Killian because I number 1, Tiefling, number 2, Sorcerer, and number 3, Trauma. So that's all of our players, and then of course we have our game master, the incredible Crafty Mirage, who will be running us through this gauntlet of fun and trauma. Crafty, say hello to everybody.
Hi, everybody. I'm Crafty Mirage, also known as Nikki. You can find me on all social medias until, well, the main relevant social media is TikTok, at least until the U.S. government takes it down, or tries to anyway. I'm here to traumatize my player and occasionally stare at this crochet project I have laid out on the floor and question all of the decisions I've made over it.
Is it huge?
No, it's just a bunch of granny squares. It's a patchwork project, and I don't like how, like, they're all different colors. I don't like how the layout is. I was drinking last night, so I arranged them then. I don't like how I laid them out when I was drunk. This is why I didn't put them together last night.
Crust drunk Crafty. I think they're on to something.
Drunk Crafty did not. Why are there 3 blue squares right next to each other? That didn't make sense. That's not patchwork.
It's a code.
It's a code, yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're writing notes to yourself in binary.
I recall someone, like my partner, saying Fibonacci sequence at one point. I don't.
That would make sense.
I don't know what happened here.
All right. All right, folks, and now what we're going to be doing is Crafty is going to be taking the helm and running us through our D&D session today. But before we do that, we want to remind you about some things that are happening with Dinner and a Game. Number 1, and probably the foremost one on my mind personally, because we're trying to make a difference and we're trying to do it in any way we can. And that current difference we're trying to make is with an organization called PCRF. It's the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. Now, Dinner and a Game is going to be raising money for the PCRF until further notice, until we hit our $1,000 goal. We're at about $325 raised right now. Thank you to everyone who's contributed. But what we're going to be doing during the games are, if you are watching one of our live games, we're going to be doing where donations can affect the game. During our not live games, which this is a pre-recorded game, we're going to be looking at the donations, and we're going to basically do a drawing based on the donation pools for the day and seeing what we can do for pulling people together to do like maybe a one-shot of everyone who's donated. It's going to be based on scheduling time and everything like that. There won't be a donation maximum or minimum for it. We just want to be able to try and give someone a reward for, if they want to play, for having done this wonderful thing for other people. And if you need any indication of why this should be done, the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund is working directly with humanitarian aid organizations to try and create a fund pool to help Egypt with the concepts of opening the borders to allow people to cross. And what they're doing is they're trying to set up a fund pool to subsidize the Egyptian government for everything that they would have to spend to setting up the refugee camps for the Palestinians. There is a lot of other stuff that's happening in the background. They're just doing their best to try and find another way to try and ease the suffering there. And so it's turning into a multi-organizational drive instead of just the PCRF, but the PCRF did start the conversation. So we're trying our best to help them out. And so anything you can contribute will be greatly appreciated. And if you want, you can, make the donations through our website, which is going to be listed in the chat. You can make the donations through PCRF's website in general, if you want to make a donation on your own. And if you want to start a fundraiser, the PCRF's organization is made it incredibly easy to start your own fundraising drives through PCRF. You don't have to set a $1,000 goal. You can just try and raise $50, whatever you can do. It's amazing. It's an amazing organization. They do good work, and we just wanted to support them as best we could. Also, if you want to support Dinner in a Game, we have merch that we will be, you can see it going through right underneath Bishi and between Bishi and Jeremiah. You can see it scrolling through there. We have merch that we sell because Dinner in a Game is first and foremost a hobby. But we're also trying to do things like make it into a business, and we're trying to be incredible people on like Crafty to run games for us, and we're trying to pay them for their time, because if anyone's ever run a game, you understand it's not just the work it's not just the running of the game. You spend time outside of the game planning for the game and designing the game and setting up the game. So we're trying to set up and reward these GMs with an appropriate monetary amount for their time. And to do that, we're not rich by any means. We're trying to subsidize this through our income through Dinner in a Game. Now, to do that, we can do things like selling merchandise. Our merch is amazing. Almost all the art now is done by Red Queen Hales, who has who's done an incredible job of transferring a lot of our shirt designs into reality. And we're going to be bringing some more on. But we also have, aside from our t-shirts, we also have our gaming products, which we're going to be starting pushing very, very soon. I'm actually finally developing the website out. I finally just bit the bullet and I'm learning how to do it myself. But so it's going to be ugly in the beginning. Trust me, it's going to be hideous, but it's going to have our merch there. So if you want to support us, you can get merch from us and represent the company. This is one of our shirts right here. It's backwards, so you can't really read it, but it says, you reach out to push the orc off the cliff, and instead you gently caress his back. He's very uncomfortable, and it just shows a natural 1 at the bottom of the shirt, but I can't show that because I'm too short. But if you want to help support us, you can order that merch, and every single bit of profits goes back into doing things like paying Crafty for what she does for us, paying our business administrator for what they do for us. It's just something we're trying to do to make sure that the people who are contributing to the success of the channel are properly rewarded. And we are trying to get to a point where we can even pay our players. We know the players have a good time playing games. That's why I'm in this game, because I get to play. But we want to be able to pay people for the time that they're giving us. So all that being said, you can also just give us donations. We accept tips. And if you want to, you can use bits rewards and stuff like that to do audio events and stuff like that in the chats on our live shows. I'm going to be disabling them for this show and not having them utilized because they won't be able to affect the show itself. And so that's going to be something that we're going to put up as a disclaimer in all these pre-recorded shows as well. All that being said, this is now time to hand over the reins to Crafty Mirage and let them continue their story of light and loss. Crafty, it's for you now.
I challenge myself every time Ray does a spiel to see how many rows of a crochet project I can do, and I got 2 done.
Nice.
Does that mean my spiel's too long or just long enough?
No, it means that I'm getting faster.
And getting faster.
I also just realized that because this is a pre-record, there's no chance of us having any help, but there's also no chance of us having a devastating thing happen to us.
Hey, it's people. I think so. In my pre-recordings for other shows, people can still spend their points, and it affects the next session. And the player, it basically they gift those rewards.
No, that's actually brilliant. We will do that. We will do that.
Well, no, because you say
shut.
who you gift it. You say who you gift it to.
Yeah.
And it's like you gift it to Dice or gift it to McCoy, and they choose when. It's basically like inspiration. They choose when to use it.
There's
And
also
actually-
the bad stuff, though.
Oh yeah, no. And actually, folks, since I'm going to be the one who's going to be running this when it goes live, I'm going to put up a poll in chat during this session, during this event, to see if you guys want to do that. And so you guys can vote in the poll to see if you want to actually have that happen, and we will make that happen. I'll talk to Crafty and see how they do it and make sure it gets done properly, and we will make that happen in the game.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
Go ahead.
I'll take it away now. So, forgive me while I recollect because it's been a couple weeks. But last we left off, the party had arrived in the Feywild in the location known as Hither, and they traversed through the swampy marshlands until they reached the inn at the end. It's the inn at the end of the road, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yep.
Inn at the end of the road. I am not caffeinated enough.
No.
The inn at the end of the road. And once they arrived there, they got the lowdown of what's been going on. And Sue, the proprietor of the inn at the end of the road, offered to let the party stay there and traverse them via her walking in to the edge of Hither, where the mists block them from reaching any other location in Prismeer. Along the way, they met with Sir Talavar, a fairy dragon who was trapped in a cage by one of the hags of the Hourglass Coven, Bavlorna, and the party went to Telemy Hill to retrieve the key that would unlock his cage. While Nim slept the day away, the rest of the party went up to Telemy Hill and met the goblin known as Jingle Jangle, and got the key from her and in exchange for the promise of a hot meal. And also, Robin Clover gave several awakened trees and this poor sweet goblin a lot of existential dread and crisis, making them think about stuff that they hadn't had to think of before.
I'm just curious. I'm just curious.
And we ended the session with the party waiting for Nim to wake up. So we opened the scene today. It's a day. Today, Nim, you've been sleeping, and you are now actively dreaming. In your dream, you are standing on the surface of a mirrored lake. There is mist surrounding you from around all ends, but you can hear the light laughter of children at play. When you look down at the lake, you see in the reflective surface, you see yourself as a young child when you first arrived in Prismeer, before all the Feywild changes affected you. And on the mirrored surface, you can see those children at play. You see your siblings running around, laughing, playing pranks on each other, having a good time. And you're staring at yourself. You see your younger self looking on to the children who are actively playing, and you see next to them is laying beside her is a unicorn with a magnificent golden horn. You look up, and next to you, and suddenly the unicorn has appeared beside you, lacking his horn. And he's just staring at you.
Dad? What?
He looks sadly at you, and then looks down at his own reflection.
Where's your horn?
I don't know.
What? What happened? What? I mean, I know home's gotten weird, but are you okay?
I'm not entirely sure.
Well, I'm back at home. We're in Hither, but we're trying to get back to the group. We're coming home. I have some people with me, but I'm coming home. And is everyone else okay?
A lot has happened, but The last thing I remember is the hag. And I haven't been able to move beyond this existence of dreaming since. I can only exist here for right now. I haven't been able to see what's happened to the lake or to the tree, the little oak, or the kids, or your mother. This is the first time I've actually been able to even reach out to you.
It's been a minute, yeah. Wait, so are you even at home?
I don't know.
I gotta get to Mom. I'm gonna get to Mom.
We've tried to move past the mists several times, and we're unable to. And then we tried confronting the hag, and he just shakes his head. I don't remember anything beyond that. I still feel my body, though.
Okay.
I don't know what's happened to it, but I feel frozen. I can't move.
Did just you and Mom try, or did the gang try?
It was just me and your mother. We told the kids to stay home, just in case.
I may be the biggest, but I'm not the oldest. But I think I have a little bit more experience than the rest of them now. The group I'm with, we'll get through the mist. We'll make it home. We'll figure this out. I promise.
You need to find your mother. You need to stop the hags. I don't think any of this will end until they've been dealt with.
I never liked them anyway. Okay. Okay. At least I made it home.
Yeah.
My sister's here, somewhere. Or so I've been told. So. I think I can't remember. Things are weird here in the dream. I want to. I know my sister's here somewhere.
I'm not sure. Your mother might know more. I think it's been a while since whatever happened.
Wait, so you've been like this for a long time?
It's hard to tell. It feels like a long time. But you know that things move differently.
Now I'm wondering if I should have ever left.
If you hadn't, you might be in the same position as us.
If I hadn't, Mom could have taught me more. I could have helped.
Or you could have befallen a worse fate.
Okay. Well, the group I'm with, I think we can get through the mists. I think we can do it. I don't know how yet, but I think we can.
Where are you now? Hither?
Mm-hmm. We're at the inn at the end of the road.
So you're with Sue.
Yeah, she's been helping us get to as close to the past to get to home as possible. We just found a fairy dragon. Met can't remember his name right now because I only just learned it and now I'm in a dream and we know that I don't retain things well here. But he works for, I want to say it's Titania.
The Summer Queen.
Yeah. So helping him seems like a good plan for now, but also we're gonna get home.
Helping him would also help you receive the Summer Queen's favor.
That was the idea. Reciprocity and all that.
For as much as it means now.
Still means something to me.
Doesn't mean the same to everyone else now.
Well, you always taught me that it was more important to have a code for oneself because you can't control what other people do.
It's true. Be safe. Know that the rules don't apply. The rules of safety don't apply to you anymore.
I didn't figure they did. I got big.
You're still small to me.
Thanks, Dad.
Be careful. Find your mother. Find your siblings. They should be able to help.
Yes, sir.
And you feel him lean forward and put his head on your shoulder, like you know how a horse you feel the weight. You feel the weight on him. And
I reached a hug.
Okay, as you reach to hug and touch him, doesn't feel like fur. Doesn't feel like that smooth hide of a unicorn. The mane doesn't feel the same either. It feels stiff and it feels rigid. But before you can really think to inspect it more, you blink and you wake up.
Not good. Not good. Not good. Not good.
And you're in the room you're in your room that you fell asleep in last night, or hours ago, you don't know. The sky never changes here.
So, I fell asleep at some point.
You fell asleep at some point, but you wake up in the room that you fell asleep in, and you can hear that there is chatter coming from downstairs, and the scene is yours.
Nim gets up, tries not to panic, acknowledges that despite the fact that she does not know what a jet is, jet lag is a bitch, and heads downstairs because we gotta go. We gotta go.
So you head downstairs and you see the companions that you've been traveling with so far. You see Robin, you see Trash, and Alf. Is Alphonse visible?
Yes, we're still doing the experimenting with the rapier.
Okay. You see Alphonse, you see Killian, you see Sue and Chi-Chi. And you also see Sir Talavar outside of his cage now. And you see that there is a small goblin, with yellowish skin and very long ears that that as they start going higher up, and just these very big blue doe eyes, and just wearing just simple clothing that's just covered in keys. So you feel like a decent amount of time has passed, like you've been sleeping for a pretty decent amount of time, just from the looks of things.
Cool. Context is great. but focus. Looks like walks over to Sir Talavar. Talavar. Walks over to Sir Talavar. Oh, this is good. This is good. Happy. Looks at the goblin.
As am I.
This is new. This is new. This is
This
new.
is Jingle Jangle.
Pulls a key out of the trinket pouch. For your collection. Nice to meet you.
Jingle
Immediately
Jangle
goes immediately goes to Sue. Sue, we need to go. There's a problem at home. If house can go faster.
The house is currently still working on getting out of the mud pit.
Okay. Is there any way I can help that? Because Dad's in trouble.
I mean, it should be getting loose. It's been working on it for a few hours. Most of the legs have gotten unstuck by this point. We were just waiting for you to wake up, so you can determine what to do next because of Miss Jingle Jangle here.
Sure, but Dad's in trouble. We need to go fast.
Lady
Turns
Nim,
around. Yeah.
This is from Alphonse. Floats over. We have been discussing the difficulty of getting to where your parents are, and the various. They're basically walls of mist of some sort that if you go through, they spit you back out. So we can't get to them yet, but we have come up with a couple of ideas on how to get a guide so that we can and hopefully find your mother now. That's what your father has asked.
So my dad can visit me in my dreams, and something's really wrong. Something's really wrong at home. His horn was gone.
He can visit you in dreams?
Yeah.
How long has he been able to do that?
I don't know exactly when it started. If it started while I was still here, or after I went back, or after I went to the other place. That wasn't.
So it was after he started visiting your dreams, like as a way to keep in touch after you went to the prime material plane, but they stopped. They stopped after like a little while, like a few months back.
Yeah, it's not like every time I sleep, and it's gotten less more recently, but after I left here last time, he started doing it to keep in touch because, it's kind of hard to write a letter between the planes.
I mean, depends on the messenger, but I do have questions though. If he can visit you in your dreams, why did he not warn you what was coming?
Because time is weird.
Oh.
Between here and there. I don't know. He said it's been this way for a long time, but
Does a long time here, like, what does that mean?
it depends. Sometimes it could be faster, sometimes it could be slower. When
I'm
we go back,
really starting to dislike the word "it depends."
that's kind of the
Would you
That's
prefer
the thing.
contextual meaning?
Sure, why not?
Lady Nim,
mm,
Alphonse puts their hand on your shoulder and sort of reaches up to their own horn and is like, we will do everything we possibly can to help your father. A unicorn without their horn is
What?
a terrible thing.
A what?
A unicorn without their horn?
Your father is a unicorn without a horn?
Currently, yeah. Or
Okay.
dreams are weird because I don't know if he physically doesn't have his horn or if maybe something's blocking his magic. Or
Is your mother also a unicorn?
uh-huh.
You are quite clearly not a unicorn.
we did establish that I got kidnapped, right?
You left out the part where they changed your species.
No. Got kidnapped back where we just were. As this is all well, okay. Aside from some cosmetic details, this has always been me. I had other parents at some point, but
Okay, so
they found me and kept me.
okay, so they're your adoptive parents.
Yeah, but
Okay,
I don't even remember.
I was
my
just
birth
trying to
parents,
work out the
so
logistics
they're
of
mom
how.
and dad.
Yeah, I was just trying to work out the logistics of how two unicorns had a mostly human-seeming child.
It's the Feywild. We're gonna drop that one to magic, but no, I'm not their actual child. Much like my siblings aren't actually their children either.
No, I'm fine with that. It's magic as a general explanation just usually means that you haven't taken time to research it. I would love to dig into the adoption laws related to visitors to this realm and what that means to the sort of mystical conditions of inheritance. Because, oh, sorry.
No, I was just. This is just Alphonse. If they took care of you and gave you a welcoming home, they are your parents.
Oh yes, absolutely.
There's a look on Trash's face specifically when that comes up.
I was adopted as well.
There you go. So the what I was going to say is we have been discussing with the good fairy dragon between ourselves about options to find a guide so that we can get through the mist. One of those options that came up, if I remember correctly, was dealing with the rabbit bandits because they've been working with the witches and may know things, perhaps even how to traverse the mist. And also they're causing havoc. And then there was a crab, a Mr. Crab. I can't remember that detail. Someone with a claw. There was a weird name.
Clapperclaw.
Clapperclaw.
That was driving me nuts.
I gave a pause to see if anyone knew it first.
I believe he was a He-Man villain. No.
Yes.
Oh my god. Why?
One of my favorite toys. Anyway.
As Nikki plots my doom.
But yeah, that is another option. I believe the Lady Trash's her intention is kind of to focus on the rabbits simply because through them we may get more information that will lead us to the next stage a little better. And also, I don't think the Lady Trash appreciates what they're doing.
Well, I'm fine with that. I will make a recommendation though.
Yes.
Do not use the word Hassenpfeffer. I suspect it won't go well.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I don't even know where I'd use the word Hassenpfeffer.
For a meal, I assume.
It's a rabbit stew.
Yep.
They mention it in a lot of old Bugs Bunny cartoons too. A
Oh,
lot.
my God. I never knew that, and now it makes sense. It looks delicious.
Maybe.
Yeah, may not mention it, but
Now it's in your head?
oh no, Nim flips out a dagger. We're gonna get information.
There is no useful way of torturing somebody for information. It doesn't actually produce any usable intelligence, largely because of the torture. The victim of the torture will say any random thing to get you to stop, and you can't verify the accuracy of it. Might it be better to try mystical means to question? Yes, it's less savory, I grant you, than a lot of things, but it's better than torture.
Well, until we've dealt with them and captured a few, or however we're going to handle this, I don't know if you want to trick your way in or so on. we won't even have the option yet. So we'll see. We'll decide how we'll deal with that when we come to it.
That's fair, but I'm ready to get myself a lucky rabbit's foot and move forward. Thank you very much.
I mean,
Sweet
they're
God.
not actually all that lucky because you're cutting them off of a rabbit. Therefore, the rabbit didn't have any luck from the rabbit's foot. So why would it give you rabbit luck? That doesn't make any kind of
Something
sense.
people do.
It's also the implication that you now have a rabbit, so you have rabbit stew. The foot is a byproduct.
Yes, none of these indicate luck, though.
For the person eating the stew, it's lucky.
It's a whole thing with the kink community, but anyway, I believe we should move on.
Yeah, let's definitely move away.
Nope.
Back
Nope.
away slowly.
Back away slowly. Never run from an immortal child. It'll only draw their attention.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, so
That conversation took a turn.
No, it's fine.
that conversation.
Fine.
took
I'm just quoting
several
Last
turns.
Unicorn. Why am I bad?
I feel as though we should perhaps separate from the inn and go towards the rabbits on our own, and then have a place where the inn will meet us later. If the inn is, if Miss Sue and the inn are acceptable to the idea.
Well, I think it's already been well established that the inn cannot go. Well, sorry, has it been established that the inn cannot go into the mists?
Right. We won't.
Yes.
I believe the rabbits are on this side. Of the
Yeah.
mist. It's
Yes,
just-
they are.
It's hard to sneak up on a crew inside of a giant moving house. Is what I'm saying.
I
Understood.
suspect that the rabbit bandits should be susceptible to normal conversation. Some good philosophical points might actually convince them.
Totally not
I
getting it.
applaud your
we-
optimism. I
we-
don't share it currently.
We will do our best to make sure that things are kept as civil as possible.
So, in the meantime, while we're traveling, I do have some more questions for you, Nim.
Sure.
So, you were raised by unicorns.
Yeah.
Where did they get you clothes?
We're in a realm where literally time doesn't work right, and he's worried about where you got clothes. There are some weird priorities going on here. I'm just saying.
This is the shit. This is the shit that drove the trees insane.
You know, I was a kid. I never really asked. Never really cared if something was past mending or I outgrew it, which was more common. Mom would just get me something new. It would just kind of show up.
Did
will
they prepare
say-
your food?
I will say that there are vendors in the Feywilds.
I don't know where they are in relationship to Little Oaks Grove.
There's vendors. You would have you know that much. You
Did-
probably got.
I
Did-
mean, there's
prepare your
markets
meal?
and shit, dude. Like, it's not like this is just a.
Eating
Place-
out's a luxury for most folks. Are they rich?
Well, I mean, there's markets and things like that, and I mean, they're pretty well off. I mean, honestly.
Okay.
But
Do they carry a coin purse?
I'm curious, where is this coming from that a unicorn couldn't make a dress? I'm not understanding this, Alphonse.
I think that the logical portion
He
of
shows
that
off
is
his hands.
they don't have any opposable thumbs.
But
Were
also,
they
I know how
stolen
to
as well?
sew. I may not be a seamstress, but I know how to sew, and Mom taught me how to mend things, so my clothes stayed pretty nice.
I mean, the
This is
magic,
horrific.
obviously.
Their horns were taken and their thumbs.
Alphonse, how
No,
have you ever
no.
encountered a unicorn, Alphonse?
In the mirror.
Huh?
In the mirror, often.
Okay, Alphonse, you're not a standard unicorn. You're some kind of unicorn hybrid, possibly.
Huh.
Yes, standard unicorns look much more like horses.
Mm.
Majestic,
With
beautiful, and
wolves.
noble horses.
Yes.
Oh, well, yes, of course.
Obviously.
This is not a disparagement of their agency or identity, they can be horses and be just as valid.
They're
no
also
problem.
incredibly magical beings, so I highly doubt summoning clothes or food would be a big problem for them.
There's also markets.
And there's
Buy
markets.
things. Or in the case of me and my siblings, often not.
Also,
buy those.
oddly enough, unicorns are known to be fairly good fighters, so they could just go kill her things if they needed to. They have a horn.
We are quite fierce.
Also,
That
also
raises
magic.
some other questions. Like,
Then we can ask those questions of the actual unicorns when we get to them.
I mean, we're walking, right? We're walking.
Yes, we're walking, but I'm wasting a lot of oxygen.
At this point,
Are you
Yeah.
leaving the inn?
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know.
shit.
Have we actually left yet?
Well,
I
yeah,
guess
we were
my
waiting
place
for the inn to get to where the edge of where it could go.
Okay.
So I think
So it hasn't moved from the base of Telemy Hill because Jingle Jangle did not want to go with you to the rest, all the rest of the way.
I
And
thought
you guys decided
I
to
thought
wait.
Jingle Jangle was getting a ride back from the trees.
In 2 weeks, man. Did Jingle Jangle leave? No, we left Jingle Jangle
No.
in the house because
That's
we wanted
right.
to give Nim an opportunity to talk to Jingle Jangle if possible.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I really just handed over a key.
Jingle Jangle is very much staring at the key. Fascination.
You know,
Much
Jingle
like it's the
Jangle,
One Ring.
you could learn how to make keys.
We've
And then
gone
you
over
wouldn't have
that.
to wait.
We've
Yeah.
gone over that. We've gone over that.
Yeah, we talked about that.
We've gone over that a lot.
I'd be glad to help you if you wanted to learn how.
Okay, but are you guys about to leave or something? Because Jingle Jangle didn't want to go with you. Jingle Jangle wants to go back to her cave.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Well, the inn is also mired in the muck, I believe, so it might be faster if we go ahead and go, and then
Yes.
the inn meet us somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, actually, do you have a set? And he turns to me. Do you have a set route somewhere we could like try and get ahead of you or meet you at?
Generally, she'll like she like gestures to one of the tables and starts like you see her with her fingertip burning an image into the wood.
Oh.
She basically just but she's burning an image into the wood with her fingertip, and she's basically just using produce flame on her fingertip. She does like a rough map and like draws like a little hill. Well, this is Telemy Hill right here, so we're right here right now. It should be able to get up out of the muck soon, but Jen over here, and she draws like a large tree trunk. That is the Brigand's Tollway. I generally go around Telemy Hill up along the mists right here. So, let me on roll 20 go to the map and actually give you guys some strokes of what I'm doing. Okay, so with her fingertip, let's make it black since she's burning it in there. So we're here now. I generally go around Telemy Hill and up the mist line. And yes, I am. And around the Brigand's Tollway, past this broken bridge, around Downfall, and then come back this way down the route that I met you on.
Right.
I'm on the Hither map, the one that the players are on.
Yes, I see it now.
And whereabouts are we trying to go as far as the pass?
Where are the rabbits at, basically?
Jingle Jangle will wander over to the table and kind of like lift herself up into one of the chairs and stand on it because she's like she's small. And she looks to the map that Sue has drawn and points at the Brigand's Tollway.
That's where the rabbits are. They're mean.
Okay. Where's the pass that we're trying to get to?
We don't know. We have to ask the rabbits.
I thought we had a goal in mind for where we were going to try to cross, though.
So you guys were just heading east towards the mists. The mists pretty much cover up all of these mountains, which being from Prismere, Nim, that you can traverse the mountains in any direction and cross into the area you would have known.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe our ultimate goal is to get to your parents, because that's like basically a safe haven, and again, more information. Everything sort of like leads into that.
So
That's how the character, by the way, is.
So Sue,
Yes.
is the table part of the tavern?
No, this is furniture.
Okay, so it didn't come with the tavern.
It came with the tavern, but it's furniture. I've moved it out to repair it every now and then.
Okay, I was curious if the tavern actually felt anything like burning when marks were made.
I mean, doesn't seem to mind whenever I scorch marks onto the tables or light a fire in the hearth.
Did we need
Or bake.
this map? For any reason?
Are you going to take the table with you? Because at that point, I think I should just draw it on a piece of paper.
No, I was just saying, did we need to keep this for any reason?
All right. And you see her just like go to the back and to look for some paper.
The tavern appears to be a living creature. It moves around by locomotion of legs like a living creature. I wonder what it eats.
Satyr souls.
That seems unlikely.
I am under the. I had assumed, this is Alphonse, that it was much like a plant, because of the way it moved, and that maybe the sun, it fed from the sun on the thatch.
I mean, I suppose it's possible, although I haven't run into many plants that can get up and walk away. But I suppose
you've actually come across quite a few recently.
It's true.
Well, there is the trees. So maybe I need to reevaluate my understanding
Those are
of the
also a lot more
ecology.
common here.
Yeah, something about the native ecology makes it so that plants become able to locomote on their own.
I mean, to be fair, my grandfather's a tree.
So your parents are unicorns and your grandfather's a tree.
Crafty, I felt that was the perfect time to drop that tidbit.
I feel like it's just like Nim getting revenge for giving everyone else existential crises. So now she's giving him existential crises.
My family dynamic's weird, yo.
I'm not entirely sure. This is from Alphonse, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some tree in my heritage as well. Knocks on itself, and you can hear the wood.
I wouldn't know. I just was found as a kid, but I mean it's possible. But so
wait till you eat my older siblings. That'll blow your mind.
Oh,
yeah, I'll wait for that.
What are they?
People.
Right. Let me rephrase that. Well, how would you describe their taxonomy?
Eclectic.
Good answer.
Crafty, am I wrong?
No.
Well, I look forward to solving that mystery.
Well, in order to do that, we have to get through the mess, so we need to go.
Yes.
Right. So
yeah, let's perhaps we should sally forth once we get the map.
yeah, we can
Sue.
take.
Go ahead.
We can take Jango back to her home, and then we can head over to the they hold hands.
They end up developing a culture and theater and everything in order to explore this.
Therapy circles just start popping up all over.
Yep.
Well, they're really into method acting, so
They get into method acting.
Oh, okay. I am actually going to applaud that one. That one was good. I don't often applaud puns, but that one, I will applaud.
Right now, I am just going to embrace the hey and have only vibes, no thoughts.
All right. Oh my god.
You guys continue.
Do we have to?
Yes, you guys continue walking. You walk for several hours.
Does the sun move?
The sun does not move at all as you're walking.
Huh.
Time is a constant.
Yeah, the time just doesn't move. The sky remains the same shade of like that gaseous green tint in the sky above.
That's interesting. I wonder how the seasons know how to maintain when there is no cyclical movement of the sun in the sky. Well, there are no seasons?
Well, I mean, there are seasons, but they're controlled by the Archfey.
Oh.
It's kind of determined at will. So, sometimes it's kind of normal. Other times it's like, winter's been kind of long. We're going to have a week of summer.
So this world is entirely deterministic.
Oh, yeah.
You would know that the Feywild domains are basically shaped by emotions around it.
Yeah, it's the people who live here just kind of help determine what the world is. It's just kind of been, I guess, hijacked.
Okay.
Now I'm still stuck on the Mephits.
Nope. We walked forward. We've been walking for hours.
No, I meant my brain.
No. Yeah. No.
All right, so I'm trying to recover. So,
if the realm is an extension of the Fae that run it, and the trees feed from the soil of the realm, are the trees feeding on the thoughts and emotions of the Fae who runs the realm?
Jeremiah, he challenged you to prevent combat with existential crises. Leave us alone. I'm not trying to fight you, but so help me, I will.
That said, I do think that who is in charge of the Fey realms can have a drastic and dangerous effect.
Sure. That makes sense. It's sort of like a field of possibilities controlled by a singular mind.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Dice Goblin, if we need to...
Oh, is this out of character?
This is out of character now. If we need to, it's only a 12-hour drive to Tennessee, so we can go take care of this.
We'll team up.
I'll pick you up, yeah.
I get visited by people. That's great.
Hi, everybody. Why do you have bats?
Oh.
It's so good to see you guys. What's with the knives? You're getting really close.
Are we going to have pizza?
Oh, God.
The Ides of March is just really...
Let us continue.
As you guys are traveling, eventually you get to a point where you're starting to notice that the water level is starting to raise up.
They warned us about this. Is there anywhere nearby that looks like it's going to be higher ground?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Hey, do perceptions.
Ooh, perception. That is my favorite thing to do.
15.
I will, and of course, be talking to myself about the fact that it is my favorite thing to do. So, I got a 15.
I got a 15.
Yeah. Lots of 15s. I think
Lots of 15s.
Yeah. that is our index here.
Yeah. All right. So with 15s, you guys do see that there are like masses that of the land that aren't getting that look like they're going to be higher than that look like they're going to be higher ground, even if because you can see where whenever the water does rise, where it generally stops based on the mud around you. And then the surroundings, you can see that there are areas where it's less muddy and more grassy. But you can also see that like these are just like small few and far between, and eventually no matter what you would have to cross through the water. As you're walking, you go to like little areas where you can get out from the water and just stand on some dry on some like unsubmerged piece of land. Anytime you do walk through the water, it doesn't get more than 5 feet. So it's either going to be at shoulder level, and if you're shorter than 5 feet, you're going to have to swim.
Well, when life gets you down, you start having a frown.
There is nothing anywhere around like, and I don't suppose it's even really be helpful, but I was thinking of like enough logs to lash together to where you can make a raft to get through this place.
If you would like, you can try to. You can give me another survival check to see if you can give me a survival check to see if you can find enough logs to craft a raft.
Well, survival is my favorite thing to do, so
I got it.
Is it?
Wow. Apparently.
So I would say that okay, and Nim too. I would say that between the three of you, you are able to start gathering some logs together to try to fashion a raft.
okay.
I'd say we can like use one long pole to push the raft along.
Yep, they call it punting.
Yep, we're gonna punt.
Okay. Yeah, so it's slow going. You guys knew that it was going to be slow going, so especially on foot. So you're not going to reach the Brigand's Tollway before the end of what would be considered in travel terms a day. So you guys continued using the raft to try to punt. Thank you, McCoy, for that term. To punt through these swamps, as they are now the water levels are now higher. But eventually, you will have to probably make camp for a little while and try to get some rest.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to be an issue. The main thing I was going to do is I figure that even if the raft is moving at the same speed, at least we'll stay mostly dry.
Yeah, for sure. But whenever you guys do make camp for the evening, did you want to camp on the raft or camp somewhere on land?
Alternative thought suggestion here.
Yes.
We take it in shifts because we're going to want to set a watch anyway. But while we are doing that, whoever is taking the watch continues moving us. We stay on the raft.
Sure.
That makes
sense.
sense.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, you can do
there's
that.
4 of us.
Well, that is the thing, because Trash isn't on the raft. Trash is floating over. So it'd be the 3 of you, because can't really punt. And basically, Alphonse is doing as much as Alphonse can do. Doesn't have, this is just the limit of their strength. We couldn't do that and punt. We couldn't drag the raft.
No, that's understandable. And this means we each do a 3-hour shift.
A 3-hour tour.
Oh, boy.
All right. So who would like to take the first shift?
I can. Well, there's no dark here, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I was about to do the tried and true. I have dark vision.
I will. I'll take it. I guess.
Okay. So you take the first shift. While the rest of your companions rest a little bit, take little naps to try to recharge their batteries.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on through Robin's mind now while he's taking his watch? How's he feeling about everything right now?
Before we go on with that, are you sure you want to ask that question?
I had that same thought.
Well, this is just the only person he's gonna be giving an existential dread to now is himself.
Well, I was just thinking the rest of us are going to have to hear it, though.
Fine.
I mean,
I suddenly had a thought. 1 second, because I realized something that I can do. Can an unseen servant punt this?
Yeah.
Raph?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, then I will take. Then Trash will take 2 hours, and then she'll cast unseen servant to keep the thing going.
Yeah.
While she floats above it.
but
Cool.
Sorry about that.
no worries. What is Robin thinking? Robin generally goes through life exploring it with a certain sense of wonder. And that's pretty much how he looks at this place, because it's filled with magic and he loves magic. He was a little disturbed to hear about the satyr in a cage, because he's never met any other satyrs. So he is contemplating that. He's contemplating what his family is doing. He's contemplating what's going on at the circus. Did his friends actually have a happy marriage after they left? How long have we been here? Have we been here long enough that they have been able to be married for a while and have kids, or maybe they come to a point where they don't, decide they don't want to be together anymore and they've moved on? Or are his elven parents still around? They probably are. They're elves, so they tend to live for a long time. Wonders if they missed him. He wonders if the water that he's punting through actually has preforms of mud mephits all around them that haven't fully coalesced into actually being mud mephits yet. Sort of a proto-mephit soup, as it were. He wonders about the trees, that the branches that they built this raft, and whether or not the branches are part of the overall sentience, or do they lose that as they come off, like the limbs of a normal flesh person would? Would they carry the memories?
So your thought process gets cut off as you realize you probably should take a look around.
Uh-huh.
So go ahead and give me a perception check for your shift.
Oh, see, I thought you were just going to be like, you failed by default. Like,
I mean,
no, I'm not that mean.
while he's looking around, he doesn't have anybody to talk to distract his busy
I want to know
mind.
how much pause is between each one of these thoughts, or if it's just a constant, manic.
You know it's
series of thoughts.
constant. You know
It was the same speed. It was the same speed.
True fact, his intelligence is 18. He's always thinking.
Yep. And his wisdom is 2.
No, he's got a decent wisdom too, but...
So 14.
14.
Is it 14? Okay.
No, 17. 17.
17?
Yeah.
All right. With a 17, you look around, and you do see that there are some fascinating... You could see where the beauty in this place it was at some point. Like, you're an intelligent person. You can break down and sort of... You have a good imagination. You can look at their surroundings and try to get a pretty clear image of what they looked like before.
Mm-hmm.
And you can determine that this place, at some point, even before this whole thing with the coven happened, this was still a swampy area, but it was less sickly, and you could see that it was more beautiful, because you catch little things like some flora that seems to be surviving despite the changes to the domain. You see grass that's a little bit greener. You see land masses that probably were lush and full of life before all of this. And you're sort of taking that in, and you're kind of digesting, I would say, just
Sure.
the beauty of this, and
trying to process the effects of time in a place that time is arbitrary, being processed in that way. Like, if we fix things, does time reverse and all of the things that happened go back to the way it was?
questions that you have to ponder for yourself as your shift comes to an end. Who's taking the next 2-hour shift?
I'll go next.
All right. So,
He will mention the time question before he goes to sleep.
God damn it. So
The only thing I can tell you for sure is that when I left, time seems to have moved about the same amount that I was gone, but I've been told that it can move differently depending on when you go through and where you go through and who sends you through.
Oh. So relevant to the observation? Sort of a magical relativity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's very much a possibility of going through and arriving moments later, or it being a couple of days when you experienced a few weeks. But it also could be hundreds and hundreds of years.
So subjective to the point of view of the observer. Non-linear, perhaps?
I believe a wise fawn once said time is a weird soup.
That's true. I'm going to take a nap now.
all right. So Nim, what's going on through your mind as you take your watch?
Nim is just focused on the task at hand, making as much progress as she can while it's her shift. Because she needs to get home. Seeing her dad like that, knowing the problems that she's already seen, this isn't okay. And she's worried about her siblings, and she's worried about her mom, and she's worried about Little Oak. And for the first time in 8 years, she's not thinking about her sister.
Go ahead and give me a perception check for your shift.
17.
17. Your shift goes by uneventfully, but at one point you do see some shifting in the water as something's swimming closer, and you feel yourself about to raise an alarm, but the head comes out of the water and you see the Mephit that you met earlier, and he's just like looking at Robin. That dude really messed this up, man.
Don't worry about it too hard. He does that.
Can't help it but worry about it now. He said the puppet said we needed to find a lady. Do you got an idea for a lady we can find?
I mean, Zybilna was always a pretty solid lady for all of us.
All right, we'll go find the big lady. The big lady will be able to tell us. And he just like disappears back into the water. You see his movement as he's swimming away, and you see the movement of several of the other methods following.
I don't know what I just caused for that hag, but I'm not upset about it.
All right, so you finish your shift unimpeded. Who's going to take the next shift.
I'll go next.
I'll take.
Oh,
No.
go,
Let
go.
me go next because you're. I want. Okay. This is from Alphonse would prefer because Alphonse knows that you're a straight caster and wants you to have an uninterrupted line of sleep.
Thank you.
So, and being a warlock, it's like an hour rest and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So she comes out and she does the unseen servant and yeah, and just floats ahead.
What's going on through Trash's mind right now?
Trash is in a weird place right now, actually, for her. This is not her normal, and it has this whole adventure has not been her normal for a long time. She has spent a lot of time out on the streets of the city where she was at, doing her shows and her performances and scrimping by and eating the apples that happened her way. She's gone from that misery to all of these magical experiences, all of these fun times, a group of people that seem to legitimately care about her, and the person and Alphonse has become more than just the voice in her head and become something solid that she can touch and that and that has like she's always had a relationship with Alphonse, but at this point she feels less alone than she's ever felt in her entire life. So for her, all of this, this muck and the worry and all of that, it's actually a pretty good time. So she's strangely positive.
All right. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay, Alphonse will help. 24.
24. All right.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. So you're looking around and around the like through the mist and through the murk, and you do see off in the distance through all of this fog and mist, you see some gently floating blue lights just dancing, and you hear the sound of rushing water.
Would that be a nature check or an arcana check to kind of figure what's going on?
You can choose either, but whichever you pick, let me know, because that will determine the result.
Okay. They're both the same roll. The glowing lights are fun and interesting, but rushing water could very well be dangerous. And that sounds more like a natural phenomenon to her. So she's going to converse with Alphonse again and try and figure out, what's going on. 2 natural 20s.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
So, RNGesus is your friend today.
So you kind of determine that when it comes to rushing water in a place like this, it's likely a water source. It is a location where the body of water is being fed from, like a waterfall or something else entirely. You know that swamps don't generally have rushing water. It's mostly still. So the only thing you can think of is that it may be a water source of some kind. A fresh water source.
Let me check something real quick.
Out of curiosity, where are we on the map at this point?
Let me look real quick at the map. From Ptolemy Hill, I would say, let me do the ping. I would say you're about here.
I thought we went around, but okay.
No, I said that's where Sue. What's drawn is the path that Sue takes when traveling in the.
Gotcha. Okay.
You're about here.
Okay.
So staying within the 60 feet of the unseen servant spell, so that this is it's still doing its thing. Trash is going to float on a little farther ahead and try and get a view of it, and she will get a little bit of altitude to see what this water source might be.
So, as you get closer while staying within the 60 feet range, you do the mist kind of parts just enough for you to be able to make it out a little bit more. You kind of see just above the surface of the water this geyser of just fresh water just coming out of what looks to be a stone rim that is just peeking over the water. And you see these little dancing blue lights just floating around it gently.
Is this something that was mentioned before? I seem to remember something about.
I believe I did mention. Yeah, I believe I did mention the O wells. You think that this might be one of the O wells?
Okay. Are they? Did they ever say whether or not the O wells were sentient or dangerous on their own?
They did not. They didn't mention that the whether or not the O wells were sentient.
Okay. I'm gonna give a Arcana check just to see, just sort of like a basic kind of idea of what magics might be there and what dangers might be there.
Okay.
So, and again, give me help. 18.
18. Okay, with 18. So what are you trying to determine specifically?
Sort of the nature of this thing and whether or not it's dangerous.
It doesn't appear to be dangerous. It just appears to be feeding water into the swamp.
Is it from a more technical thing? Do I think that'll knock over the raft or anything? Is it creating rapids?
It's not creating rapids. It's just feeding water.
Okay. Alphonse will call out to the light since we're a little farther ahead from the boat and probably won't wake anybody up with that. Is there anyone there? Good lights. Are you conscious?
Do you see the lights stop at the sound of Alphonse's voice? And they you feel like you seem to have their attention.
What to say? And Alphonse literally just kind of mutter that to themselves. We are traveling through. We wish you no harm. We are looking for the rabbits, the bandits.
The Haringen?
And you hear like just soft, like you hear a multitude of soft little voices speaking together.
Yes, we are looking to them so that perhaps we can forestall some of the chaos that they are causing, and also to see what it is that they know. Things don't seem to be working the way they should be in this land, and we would like to try and address that if we can.
How are you going to do that?
Well, first we need to know how to get through the mist, I'm afraid. As long as the mist remains a barrier, our options for information are limited.
We see the Haringen from time to time, but we can't ever stray too far away from the wells.
Are you tied to the well, or do you actually cause them to function? Are you part of their functioning?
We died, and we're not allowed to leave here.
Oh, that is a shame.
When Bavlorna flooded hither, we were by the wells, and we died. So now our spirits are tied to this well.
I am afraid releasing such things is far beyond either me or the Lady Trash. But perhaps when we address the issue affecting this land, you can move on to a place.
Are you opposing Bavlorna?
Yes.
You see the will-o-wisps move closer to you and
Mhm.
start to circle around Trash. And as they circle around her, she kind of has briefly a light blue glow that kind of just encompasses her for a moment before fading away. And you feel like this surge of magic, like, deep within your chest. And for the next 24 hours, you have received a magic boon from the from the will-o-wisps. Let's see. This boon recipient gains a D4 and can at any time within the next 24 hours roll this die and add the number rolled to one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw made by it.
Dang.
And it recharges after a long rest.
Very cool.
Damn.
Yeah. Anyone who got over a 20 in their perception check would have found the well.
The wonders of the dice.
It's cool.
It's cool.
RNG's is really... There are 3 nat 20s in a row.
That was insane.
I thank you, Lights, and I
Mhm.
hope that you will be free to wander in realms more befitting and comfortable to you.
The wisps start to float back to the well and just gently float around it.
Okay. I will make sure as the raft goes that it goes in such a way, one that the noise of the well isn't enough to disturb the companions, and that we don't disturb the wisps either. I don't want them, to feel that
Right.
we're bothering their territory or anything.
All right. So, you finish off your watch, and finally we'll move to Killian for the remainder of the journey.
Keep an eye out for wells. Apparently there are some out here, along with will-o-wisps that are friendly. So
Okay.
do not be afraid.
No. Hey, how much longer does your little servant last?
I can recast it before.
No. It's not necessarily. I'm not. I just had a project I wanted to do, and I was hoping to get an extra set of hands.
Kind of hard to do projects while you're punting.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. An extra set of hands, so someone can punt while I take care of my little project. Besides, you're asleep. Because how else am I going to tie rocks to you and push you off the raft?
That's the project.
Really good point.
Is that the project?
That's the project.
The Lady Trash.
Nimcast mage hand.
Yeah, at one point, Robin rolls over and goes, I wonder if eating mud pies counts as cannibalism. Goes back to sleep.
Conjures a pillow.
Mage hand. Click.
Go ahead.
Lady Trash basically uses her last slot before she's going to go back into a rest, and sort of ties the unseen servant to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then, actually, I will use the unseen servant to punt. And what I'm going to basically do is I'm going to be using the rest of the time to pretty much keep observing the surroundings, and I want to see if there's any, because there's no change in the light, right? So I'm basically trying to see if there's any way, because I've got the map out that we made. I'm trying to basically try and get bearings. I know it's a very rudimentary map, but get bearings on this and see like if because we seem to be traveling at a steady pace. So I want to see if I can use that pace to try and estimate like distance traveled and see if there's any consistency to it.
Okay.
What type of roll do you want to make for that? Survival, basically, or something?
I feel like that would be a survival roll, yeah.
Math.
Mathing are the suck. It's an 11.
It's an 11. It's hard to tell. The map's really rudimentary and you don't know the land well enough. You know you've been traveling for a few hours, but just based on this map, you can't. There's no major landmarks
Yeah.
other than the tree, the town, and
And that's kind of what I was trying to establish. If there's anything I could use for landmarks and stuff like that. The basic reason is because we already know time is weird, so I wanted to see if like distance is weird too.
I mean,
hard to tell.
time between the realms is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Within the realm, it's pretty constant. It's like,
But what is going through Killian's mind as he's trying to math the math and not really making much headway in it?
Actually, Killian is basically the entire time the math is actually kind of a distraction because the entire time, whenever he's not concentrating on that, his mind drifts back to, I hope this is the best way to get information to find my brother. I don't think I can make it through this without these people, but so far I haven't found anything that helps me with my situation. And so I have to keep on trying to help them, because maybe through that I'll find more information, and hopefully they'll help me when it comes when we get enough information that we can try and find my brother. But even if they don't, I'm not leaving here without him.
All right. Go ahead and give me your perception check for your watch.
$15.
15. All right. You're so deep in thought that it sort of catches you off guard, but you do see it in time. You start seeing a looming large shape towering above the mist in front of you.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, you feel the raft thunk against something. And you look in front of you and you see, what are they called? Docks. And then you look back at the map and you realize that this is probably that the shape that you're seeing is kind of similar to the rudimentary drawing on the map of the tollway.
I quietly go wake everyone up, and I say, I think we're here. It's like, if this is the Brigands' tollway, then there are probably brigands. So we want to be as quiet as possible.
so we got our long rest.
Yes, you do.
Yay! All right. So, I'm assuming that the fog has gotten thicker then?
It's been the same consistency,
Mhm.
but you can because like it's a large like the large shape of the tree trunk
Mhm.
in the distance. It's large enough that it creates a shadow
Okay.
effect
Got
almost
it.
within the fog itself. So you can tell that it's there, but you're still a little ways away, and now you have this dock in front of you. And as you look further past this dock that you just hit, you can see that there are more causeways, little rickety bridges that connect to one another and intersect and go off towards that shape, that giant shape in the distance.
Gotcha. Is the causeway that the dock we kind of bumped up against, is it fairly straight going off into the distance?
It starts off pretty straight, but then you can see it starting to curve.
Okay. Just trying to get an estimate of which one we might have bumped into. Of course, I don't know how exact the map of the causeway is.
I mean, I have a map of the causeway, but I don't want to show it to you just yet because
That's okay.
I have minis set up on it.
Aww. So, but I make sure everyone's awake, and then I guess the next easiest thing to do is to tie the raft off to the causeway. At least we'll know where it is if we get to come back if someone doesn't steal it. Why they steal this, I don't know, but who knows?
I mean, it does. Well, there doesn't appear to be a consistent rule of supply and demand due to the inconsistent nature of time and how it processes the production of materials. So, who knows?
I imagine us leaving here, and then as we do, a tree comes out from the darkness and goes over. It's like, brother, what happened to you? It's like, I don't know. They pulled me down here. They started riding me through the water, and then they tied me up.
Brother, no.
That's my boy. Father, help.
All right. So I guess we're going to start heading in on the causeway.
All right.
Unless anyone wants to do anything else.
I'm gonna say carefully,
Yes.
listening ever presently for this frickin' bunny rabbit gang.
I figure those big feet will make a lot of noise on the causeway.
Alphonse is going to go ahead and encase trash in a shield and go invisible.
All right.
Don't mind me
You-
poking at my spells.
You all start to walk, hearing the creak and the thump of your feet on these rickety planks that are in horrible shape as the fog starts to become denser around you as you walk further in.
I cast Mage Armor on myself.
What are all your perceptions?
You mean like the
Passive
passive
Passive perception.
Okay.
14.
14, 12,
14.
14. All right. So, I don't think Ray has 14.
No.
Okay. So, you guys are walking. The fog is getting thicker around you. And Nim and Trash, an odd feeling starts to suddenly come over you as you're walking, as you're listening, as this damp, thick fog is around you, making it harder to see. But it doesn't affect your ability to hear. And it doesn't affect your ability to determine that another set of footsteps has joined alongside of you. As you turn to the sound of the footsteps and you see a hunched, hooded figure stepping in with your group from behind. And that's where we're going to end the session.
No!
I
No!
knew that was where you're going.
That was a good point to end, and I like ending at 3.
But I
Absolutely.
had some questions for them.
You can ask them next session.
When you
Okay.
notice they're there.
Yeah, that's true.
So, thank you very much, Crafty, for running. And let's go ahead and say goodnight to everybody, or good afternoon to everyone here. And let them tell you where you can find them on the mighty interwebs. We will start with our illustrious game master, Crafty Mirage. Crafty, where can people find you on the mighty interwebs?
You can find me on TikTok for as long as it's still around. If hopefully for more than just the next 6 months. You can find me as an ST on Thursdays over on the St. Pete by Night Twitch channel. And you can also find me on Etsy at my Etsy shop, Chromatic Creations US, where I make a lot of crochet stuff.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And my wife has one of those, and it's wonderful. She wears it when she's sitting in front of the computer now. Because she can wear a t-shirt and still stay warm. From Crafty, we will go around to Jeremiah McCoy, Basics of the Game. Where can people find you on the mighty interwebs?
Oh, I am lots of places. I'm Tech Noir on Twitter. I refuse to call it X. I'm on Blue Sky as myself. I am on TikTok as Basics of the Game, on Twitch as Basics of the Game, where starting back up in April, I will be running every other Monday a Vampire the Masquerade chronicle called Newark by Night. I have a website, jeremiahmccoy.com, like I'm a lot of places. Yeah.
Everywhere. Excellent. Thank you, sir. And we come around the corner to Bishy Bunny. Bishy, where can people find you on the mighty interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter under Bishy Bunny. It's all one word. You can also find me on Twitch, where I stream. I recently had a procedure, so I am hoping that eventually that's going to bear fruit and I will be able to stream much more often. I can tell you, however, that we will be doing a breakfast crew with Stardew Valley this Monday, and that's going to be me, Bon Cinnabon, Big Daddy Biscuit, and Dr. Sausage McHam Slam. Unfortunately, Big Mama Short Stack will not be able to attend this week.
Well, I hope they're okay.
They are. It's
Scheduling.
It's a whole thing.
I have questions related to those names.
No, no, absolutely not. No more questions for you. Your question privilege is revoked.
Dice Goblin Black Cat, where can people find you on the mighty interwebs?
Well, besides this wonderful game, and you can find me in lately several one-shots here on Tag, and as well as basically everywhere as Dice Goblin Black Cat, except for Elon's Hellscape. So, and that one just doesn't matter as much. You can also find my dice at fateandfortunedice.com, where everything is currently 30% off. So if you like shiny math rocks, there's that.
Absolutely.
Yep. That's
Excellent. And you can find Dinner and a Games links as well as these other creators' links in the chat right now. Remember, we would all do this no matter what because this is our hobby and we like doing it. However, if you would like to give us a serotonin boost, taking that extra bit of time to hit a like or a follow on any of our social medias it gives us a boost that we can't even really begin to describe because it lets us know that other people appreciate what we're doing, and that's incredible, and we can't thank you enough for it. Remember, we're going to continue raising money for PCRF until we hit $1,000 donated. Also, do not forget that if you want to support Dinner and a Game in our goal to be able to pay our content creators, we would love that support. You can order merch. You can subscribe to us on any of the sites that have paid subscriptions, such as Twitch, YouTube. You can subscribe there. You can send us diamonds on Facebook. Anything you want to do would help us out greatly. And if you want to order merch, we have that. And if you want to do things like order some of our new gaming supplies, that should be coming out within the next couple of weeks with our website. And we will be having that up on a regular basis. And we'll be starting out with a pretty decent sale. So hopefully that'll go well for us and you guys will help us out. But no matter what, remember, you have to stay safe. You have to be able to join us every week that you can. And to do that, we need you to social distance, wear a mask when you can, and do what you can to keep yourself well so you can join us and all these other creators on their endeavors as often as you have the spell slots for it. Remember, Dinner and a Game, we always save you a seat at the table. Now, for those of you on Twitch, we're going to go ahead and find someone to raid. For those of you on any of our other social medias, we're going to wish you a wonderful day and hope you guys have a great one. And we will see you guys next time. So thank you so much.
Bye.
Goodbye.